Captain Kirk is climbing El Cap. But not only climbing, he's free climbing. Free climbing is without ropes, without any securing devices at all. Hands and toes climbing up this granite, seeking energy, strength, and toe and finger holds up 3,000, almost 4,000 feet high in the air. One misstep, and they fall. Free climbers fall. The first scene in the film is our guest star, Sybok, rides in on a polluted planet, which he has to breathe through a breathing device because everything is so polluted, and seeks to convert a follower to his way of thinking. The next scene, essentially the opening scene, Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? I've thought often since I wrote Yosemite, Captain Kirk, free climbing. I thought often, why did I come up with that idea? And I had no idea. For the longest time, I had no understanding of the subconscious of picking free climbing, which I've never done, and I'm fearful of heights. To me, my worst nightmare, as many people's are, is falling. And I've always found it hard to look over the edge of anything, a two-story building, let alone 3,000, 4,000 feet. And then I began to understand within the context of the film, let alone in real life, what that climb meant. The climb is not just a climb up the rock, but it's a climb, the aspirations to climb, to reach higher than yourself. Man and this human being, Kirk, representing all of man, climbing higher than himself. There's a line in the scene, I wish to make this ascent, he says. I'm making an ascent. The meaning of that line, obvious now, taken out of context. Free climbers challenge the rock, challenge themselves. They are at one with the rock. They become part of the rock. There is reason to believe that granite is alive. The crystal formations and the crystal growing, there's reason to think that if crystal can recreate itself, that's one of the criteria of life. And climbers believe that granite is alive, and they get energy from the granite. Sun-warmed by eons of days in the sun, this rock can be thought of as alive. And so they climb this living body, seeking to be part of the living body, aspiring to climb to the top and challenging death and thereby gaining life. And that's what I thought Kirk would be doing. And we treat it in a funny, in a comical fashion. There is great humor in the scene, and that was the reason I discovered for myself that Kirk is on the mountain. And the only place he could be was Yosemite, because this is the Mecca for climbers from all over the world. Friends of mine who've been on that mountain over there have said they have been climbing and have heard languages from all over the world and not heard English. Climbers from every country in the world come to Yosemite to climb El Cap and the mountains around it, because it is one of the great climbing places in the world.
Excellent.
Well, in the film, when asked by Spock, why are you climbing the mountain, Kirk says, somewhat facetiously, because it's there, a remark attributed to the climber Mallory. Probably did say it, or maybe it was said by every caveman who went above the lip of the cave and jumped on the top. And, oh, why are you doing that? It's because it's there, you know, which is an answer that fends off the true emotion of climbing a mountain. The mountain is climbed, yes, because it's there, because otherwise you'd be walking on the plains. But the mountain is climbed because I think the climber wants to hug the mountain. He wants to envelop that mountain within his body. He wants to make love to the mountain. And on its highest and finest level, whether these tough young guys with their sinewy bodies and their one meal a day routine will admit it. There is a passionate affair going on between the climber and the mountain.